Hi guys, Paul here from Muscle Car UK again. Just letting you know what's happening in the workshop today, as it's a Friday. We've got one interesting thing I want to show you. Occasionally when people buy the Mustangs, they say, oh, the heater's not working, and they just think it's a fuse or something easy. 9 times out of 10 it's not. Because these cars are 50 years old, you'll find that it can be various things that, that can force the heater not to work. Being in America and in the hot country as well, and the hot states rather, you've got the situation where they never use them. So they don't know if they're working or not. It's only when we get them back over to this country that people start to use them. I mean, sometimes, this is the whole heater box. So sometimes you'll find that this is the heater motor, and you'll find this will make a noise. Quite easily repairable, or not too expensive to buy a new one. So that's what we've taken off of there. We've got the plenum here, which is plastic. Now this is obviously very old, and you can see it's cracked here and it's lost part of its structure. So order a new one of those. Not a fortune, 50 quid or something like that, to put that right. Inside here, which is normally where the problems are, is you have the heater matrix. And what's happened on this particular car is this heater matrix, more than likely, has been sitting in this position for many years, and it's got a slight leak. As you can see, it's a rad which has got water in it, and if you get that slight leakage going into it, over the course of time, you'll get sort of problems like this. So of course, it won't work correctly, and things just start to generally decay. And that's just generally through water ingress, normally from the heater matrix. Sometimes it can come from other areas, but that's pretty much what can cause. Now all this is quite expensive. If you have to buy the whole lot, you're looking at maybe £800 for this particular item, with the matrix, with the plenum, etc, etc. And also you've got to think of the cost of the labour charge. You've got to take all the dashboard out and put all the dashboard back in again. So and that's quite a glove box has to come out. Normally the glove box, like this for example, is ruined as well, and it's old, it's 50 years old. Again, they're only made of cardboard, it's not a fortune, but you might as well replace it while you're at it. So just a thought, when you're either buying a used Mustang of this age and the heater's not working, it may not be as straightforward as you think. Sometimes the job can end up costing about 1,500 quid to get some warmth. So bear that in mind. I've also got this 66 Mustang in. It had slight water leak, and we had to find out where it's from. So what we've basically done is we've taken the radiator off, the rad, the fan, the water pump, and it's basically on this housing here, the water pump housing. We found that on here the gasket had failed on this area here. So basically we've had to take all this off in order to get to the situation where we can put a new gasket on. So you can see where that's come off. That would have been on here, and what would have happened is that this is a water channel going through the engine, and what would have happened is the water would have come through into an area where the timing chain is, and that's obviously got oil in it, so hence the water would have gone into the oil, etc, etc. Not good for any engine. So basically we had to take all this off, repair the gasket, and then we'll obviously have to do new oil and filter change to make sure there's no water left at all into the car. But these are the sort of checks that we do on our cars to make sure they're absolutely right. All we noticed was a slight little water leak, but you've got to get to the bottom of these problems, otherwise that can turn into a lot worse. But lucky enough we found it straight away, so we're all good. We've got another car here which is nearly finished, going through our system. Darren's been working on this, thanks Darren. This is Darren's chart of all the stuff that needed to be done, and he's just going through that and pretty much finished today. And as a result, this car now will be going in for balloting. It's a 67, as you can see, a beautiful car, low mileage, air conditioned car, power steering, a real lovely car. Once that's validated, I think it will be on sale hopefully this time next week, so you'll be able to buy it. So thanks very much and see you soon.